Aye.
Thank you so much. Okay, so this is a regular meeting and a hearing of the DRB. We did open earlier. And as I was saying, I asked Jessica Roberts, the zoning administrator, to sit up here because since we are recording, she needs to be near a microphone.
Thank you.
So we have visitors. Are you all here for a special case or anything extra? John, you're here for one of the cases?
Yes, ma'am.
Bonnie, thank you. We know why Mr. Mays is here because we're exciting. I have, so do we have no public comments other than what's on the two cases? Thank you. And I have no additions to the agenda. Does anyone else? Thank you. So John Gannon is with us by Zoom, Charlie Foster, Crystal Holt, and for those who don't know me, I am Cheryl LaFlamme. And I would like a motion to approve the minutes of March 3rd, please.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from March 3rd.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank
I
you.
think it has to be
All in
John.
favor, Cheryl, aye.
Crystal, I.
Charlie, aye. John,
Charlie, I don't think you were here
I'm sorry? Charlie was
I
here.
abstain.
Yeah, Charlie was here.
on 3 March.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
great. Thanks for being there.
Yes,
Wow,
you
thanks a
did
lot.
the minutes.
Sorry
Do you
about
want
that.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Thanks.
I didn't write your name on my
All
list.
right, so thank you all again, and I am opening the hearing on application 2025-007. The property address is 5 North Main Street. Come on up. The owner is George and Mary Sudell.
That's correct.
And George, welcome.
Thank you.
The proposal is a change of use, adding an after-the-fact single-family dwelling to the upper floors, and then adding 5 bedrooms for short-term rental use. And I made the wrong district. It's not in the commercial residential, it's in the village district. And the historic and village design review overlay districts, as well as the flood hazard zone. So you want it all.
Why not? That was all there.
So our applicable code sections are Article 2, Section 221, 222, 223, 224, 226, 227, 271, 272. Article 4, Section 420, 440, 450B. Article 5, Section 510, 511, 512, 520, 521, 522. Article 6, Section 602, 603, 606, 608, 609, 620. And Article 7, Section 710, 720, 721, 722, 730, A, D, and H. So are there any conflicts of interest or ex parte discussions for the board?
No.
Thank you. And would you be so kind as to raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else who is here about this particular hearing, and will you be giving testimony? Nope. Okie dokie then. So we
we have a
I have
question.
a question.
yes,
Is Crystal in a butter? Are you in a butter to this property?
I'm sorry.
To 5?
Crystal? Yeah.
No.
Okay. You're down the street more, right?
Yes. So the way
I'm
we
also
do
not the
this is
property
we
owner.
have one of our members be what we refer to as the case manager. And Crystal is going to case manage this. It just means that she's put together the information and she'll be asking most of the questions.
Okay.
So you go, Crystal.
All right, let's get to it. All right, so before I ask you to tell me about what's going on, I'm just going to first read off for the board all of the exhibits that are included with
Sure.
your application. All right, number 1, the Town of Wilmington cover sheet. Number 2, notice of hearing. Number 3, application for DRB review, which is 3 pages long. Number 4, the lister's data cards, 2 pages. Number 5, the STR safety checklist. Number 6, architectural drawing with the layout. Number 7, an architectural drawing with the site plan. Number 8, a suspected violation report form dated 7/18/24. Number 9, image of the VRBO listing of the property. Number 10, a formal notice of violation form dated 12/17/2024. Number 11, copy of email communication between applicant and John Lozelle regarding wastewater permitting fees. That was dated 1/15/2025 and is 2 pages. 12 is a copy of email communication between Jessica Roberts and A&R representative regarding the floodplain status. That was dated 2/18/25. 13, the list of abutters and the postage mailing date. And then 14 was a second email communication from A&R floodplain manager regarding any permit limitations. That was dated 2/21/25. That was the one you sent us later.
So John, I'm just going to interrupt for 1 second. Are you representing the church as an abutter?
Not on this one.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Does that sound like everything?
Sounds like the full Monty.
Okay. All right. So before we get going, I know Cheryl read off the general proposal. Why don't you just tell me in your own words what we're looking at?
Well, what I'm doing here is that I just started renting the place, and then this new ordinance came into play. I mean, basically, my understanding was, and this is new news to me, that it was always zoned commercial. I didn't know that. I mean, I filed building permits when I did the renovation, and it was always residential on the upper half. So it doesn't make a difference to me either way how it's getting classified. So, but it is just residential on the whole upper floor into the old barn. And basically, I don't come up here that often. I mean, I'm up here 3 or 4 times a year. I wish I could come more, but I mean, it's beautiful, but we love it here, but I'm busy on Long Island. And so rather than let a space I made beautiful sit vacant, I figured why not make a few shillings, you know, renting it out. And although this last season I only rented it twice, just because. And then I was told I have to file for this, and they're upping my sewer. I mean, I used to be, I remember when I filed the building permit, it was registered as a delicatessen restaurant. That's what was in there when I bought the building. I had seating for 12 or 14 type of thing, and I let that all go because I didn't, you know, there's nobody, you know, there was a feed store in there at one time before the flood. And then, so that's it. So now I understand my sewage bill is going to go up, which guys are doing business. And then there's a permit fee for $2,800, which is the price of doing business, which I'm good with. And then that's it. So I don't know what else.
Yeah, I just want to say a little bit about those 2 issues. So the new law that was passed in April allowed short-term rentals. Before then, you would have been limited to a 2-bedroom short-term rental with an operator living on site.
Right.
So that was the old law. Most of the short-term rentals didn't fall under that. In April, we opened it up. So you don't need an operator living on site anymore, but the permit takes the place of that operator. Everybody needs a permit. And then the second issue was the sewer allocation was for a 3-bedroom. So we're upping this to a 5-bedroom. So it's just the added sewer allocation for those 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, it's because of a big town. I mean, technically, it's an open law that I told whoever I spoke to, I said,
John.
I have beds up there. You know, so they go, it's a bed.
Yes, it is. However you
Yeah,
use it.
so I'm fine with that. So I have no problem with that.
Okay. So check, adding the dwelling use.
So it's got
Short-term rental.
apartment use already for the 3-bedroom. We're just adding
Oh, okay.
the dwelling use for the additional 2 bedrooms.
Perfect. All right. So now I'm going to start to go through some of those articles that Cheryl read off.
Sure.
Article 2 is basically just provides all the guidelines for the administrative procedures associated with our zoning regulations. So it outlines the role of us, the DRB, what development requires our review and written decision, what requirements exist for a complete application, how the DRB makes decisions, a process to follow if you wish to make changes after you get a DRB decision. It explains that public hearings are held by the DRB and that appeals are handled by the Superior Court of Vermont Environmental Division. And it also outlines who can attend a hearing and be heard at a hearing. So all of that information is contained in Article 2 of our zoning.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about any of those? No. Okay. So then we have Article 4, which is the districts and the uses. It talks about what things are permitted uses or not allowed. And then also goes into the very specific districts of our town. You're in the village district. In addition to that, like Cheryl was saying, since you won the lottery, you also have an overlay district the historic design review district overlay, and
Right.
you're also in the flood district. So that's why she was reading off so many articles, because there's things we have to
That's
check
fine.
off and all
Yeah,
this.
I'd gone through the historical when I renovated the building, all that.
That's great.
So.
And then we're adding the 2 bedrooms to bring it to 5. And a 5-bedroom short-term rental means you get to come see us either way. So,
Yeah, wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Any questions about your district or the uses that are allowed in
None
it?
whatsoever.
All right. So Article 5 is going to cover the design review districts, the overlays. So yours is the historic design review district. Basically, the whole point of Article 5 is just to ensure that we are mindful of the historic buildings that are in town, that people take care of them,
I put a
preserve that
slate roof- I put a
character.
new slate roof on that. so
Did you
everybody
really?
else is- Yeah,
Nice.
it's actually rubber slate. It's pretty cool.
Rubber slate.
It's rubber slate. You
Okay.
can throw like a frisbee, but it lasts a lifetime.
That's
And
right.
I put those fleur-de-lis little copper
Mhm.
snow guards up there. I'm an architect on Long Island, and this is what I do. I deal in high-end residential.
Nice.
I confront this all the time, so I know the dance.
You knew what you were doing.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So do you have any questions about the historic design review district, or, you know,
No.
anything that
Not
applies
at
to?
all.
Okay. So then we have Article 6, which is the flood hazard district. Based on the communication with the A&R floodplain manager, she said as long as there's no renovations or changes that are being made to the building, no structural changes, none of those things have been proposed here,
Yeah.
then she doesn't have any additional permitting requirements that
Yeah,
need
the
to
only
be
thing
addressed.
happened, I fell victim to Irene. So I lifted all my electrical, and all the wiring in the building is subterranean, so it's waterproof. So just in case an arc comes out.
Okay, let's see. All right, any questions about the flood hazard district? Okay. Now we're gonna look at Article 7, which is the standards. These apply to any development that happens in the town of Wilmington. And I'm just gonna kind of pop through a couple of them. The first one in Article 7, 710, is talking about use performance standards. So what you're gonna use the property for. And basically it wants to check on a couple things. Some of the ones that are most important for a short-term rental use would be the following 2. Vibration. Will there be any continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent vibration produced at the property line without the aid of instruments? And then the second one is noise. There can't be any continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent noise in excess of that of normal conversation at the property boundary line. And then also, are you aware that we do have quiet hours listed in our zoning? That means that there shouldn't be any recurring, periodic, or intermittent noise in excess of that of a normal lawnmower between the hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m.
No.
Okay. And do you have anything listed in your VRBO or Airbnb listing that lets your visitors know that there's quiet hours?
Actually, in my listing, I talk about respecting the store downstairs and that no, craziness and everything else. So, and the people that rent, I try to charge as much as I can, so I get good people that can pay the price. And I usually give them a pretty good screening, and it's just me screening them, because like when they say bachelor party, I go, nah.
Yeah, you might be in the
Or
wrong.
bachelorette, I can't be sorry. They could be worse.
Okay.
Actually.
So it wouldn't hurt to add in the hours of, you
Yeah,
could
I could-
put
I
in
could-
some language that
I
says the
could do
town.
that
Okay,
in the listing.
great. And then there's no air emissions from your downstairs commercial operation?
And what kind?
Air emissions?
No.
Yeah, okay.
It's marks, it's great.
Um,
Some wood.
Yes. All right, so then we're gonna look at 721, which is the general standards. Basically, it just lists several things, and we wanna make sure there's no undue adverse effects on any of them. I've read through them myself, and I don't think there's any of them that are of concern. Basically, they have things to do with like impact on roadways or planned communities, utilization of renewable energy sources, air quality.
Yeah.
As long as, the property is being used in the way you've described it.
First, what's the air quality next door to my right? The dispensary. I'm teasing.
I didn't hear.
It can be
I-
good
I-
quality, but
I just want to mention, talking about all those things, impact on the sewer. He has, in his listing, he's got a 4-bedroom, which I assume you're going to change that to 5-bedroom once you get approved.
yeah, well, it actually is really, I can change
could
it
be
to 5.
He's got sleeps 12, and I just want, based on our former conversation, That's set by John Lozelle. He charges per sleeping space because he's on town sewer.
Okay.
So it's different than a wastewater permit.
All right, section 722, which is conditional use. Basically, we've sort of addressed this in the historical section. It's just making sure that we preserve the character of town, making sure that any development continues to like support that. Bucolic, small town, Vermont.
You don't have to explain it to me. I do a lot of that stuff.
All right, so then we are going to look at 730. Three things we usually check on. The first one is lighting. Is there any current lighting on the building? Where is it? What does it look like?
There is a one-time censored floodlight in the driveway when you pull up and it's pointed down, because I know about sky plane and light.
Shielded by
Shielded
something?
down, yeah, it's
Great.
a flood aimed downward just so you can see where you're walking. There's one mounted to the side of the building, which hasn't worked in probably 3 or 4 years, and that's all pointed down. Everything's pointed down, not to go out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're not proposing adding any lighting? I didn't see anything. So
No.
what's there will stay.
Okay.
So usually we ask about parking. Per the zoning ordinance, the historic design review district is exempt from parking space requirements. So in that way, you actually did win the lottery, because normally you would.
Yeah, I have 2
more
parking spaces in cars in tandem, side by
Yeah,
side.
I saw them.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is the wastewater and the potable water. So you've been in communication with John Lozelle. You'll complete the process on your end to receive that wastewater permit, and then it will go to Jessica, which is obviously
Okay.
required for the
Yes.
permit.
I'll need it for your permit, and then whatever you work out with him for sleeping spaces, you'll just need to make sure that your ads reflect that same number of guests.
Well, let me ask you about that. When I say sleeps 12, I got sofas counted in it, not beds, but sofas.
Yeah, you'll talk with John about all that. He's
Yeah.
gonna charge you per sleeping space.
Okay, and that wouldn't constitute a sofa though.
It would be,
Constitute.
yes, any sleeping space. It's work different than residential. It's
Dog
actually
beds?
very similar to motel,
Yes, dog beds.
motel, hotel, how they charge. It's
Yeah.
the same,
Okay,
but that's separate from zoning,
yeah.
but we do condition the permit on that.
Yeah, I was told my sewer bill was gonna go up to 1,200 or something. I don't know if that was based on what we're discussing now or what was discussed previously.
Exactly. They charge you a price per sleeping space for short-term rentals.
Yeah,
Instead of like an apartment.
yeah, somebody in my office said to me, your sewer bill's going up 1,200, or going up 1,200 from what I'm paying now.
Sometimes it goes down. I've seen it both ways.
Okay. Well, I just don't know what the count was.
Yeah, you'll
Was
just
it
have to,
12 or, 5 beds?
You'll have to work it out with John.
John, okay,
Yeah.
I'll talk to John.
all right, anything else from the board that we need clarification on?
John Gannon, do you have any questions?
Nope, I don't.
Charlie?
Charlie does not.
Thank you. I have none. So thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
We will now close the
Questions?
hearing
Thank you.
at 5:15. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And I am now going to open the hearing on the application 2025-018. The property address is 7 North Main. Would the Horns like to come up and sit in the seats of honor? I'm sure Matt thinks it's a seat of honor. So the owners are Matt and Veronica Horn. The proposal is additional signs in the, and again, I screwed the district, it's the village district. And you're in the historic and village design review overlay districts, and I forgot that you're also in the flood. So I have added that as well. You're one corner, yep. So the applicable code sections are Article 2. And because this is sign, there's a lot more of Article 2. So it's 213, 221, 222, 223, 224, 226, 227, 229, 233, 234, 240, 246, 271, and 272. Article 4, Section 420, 440, 450B. Article 5, Section 510, 511, 512, 520, 521, 522, 530E, and 540. Article 6, Section 602, 603, 606, 608, 609, and 620. And Article 8, Section 801, 802, 803, 821, 822H, 823K, 830. I didn't make the changes, John. I just realized that.
Oh,
You added some to H, right? Let me
yes, I
read
did.
what you have. Hold on, I'll read what you have. So, oops, I'm not gonna take that, excuse me. So in 8, it's section 801, 803, 824, 8, nope, you crossed out 824, 822 E, F, and H, 823K, 830 to 833, 842 to 844, 850, 860, 870, 871, 873, 874, 880, 881, and 890.
So,
It's a lot. It's a big ordinance. So, to the board, are there any conflicts of interest or ex parte discussions?
no.
Thank you. And John Boyd, are you, as representing the abutter, the Baptist Church, or will you be speaking?
Not sure.
Okay. And are you representing anyone? Okay. So Ronnie and Matt and John Boyd, would you please all raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you so much. So as with our last case, we have a case manager, and John Gannon is the case manager for this application. So I'm going to turn it over to John, but I do have some questions. I think, John, if you don't mind, I'll interrupt you probably right about after all of the exhibits, okay?
That's fine. Go ahead.
You're
All
on.
right. All right, so you're going to see me follow a process that was very similar to Crystal's. We're going to start with the exhibits. And so the exhibits in this case are exhibit number 1 is the cover sheet. Exhibit number 2 is the notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is the application, which is 3 pages. Exhibit 4 is photos of signage, 8 photos. Exhibit 5 is sections 832 through 842 of Article 8, our sign ordinance. Exhibit 6 is a letter from Town Attorney Edward G. Adrian to Matt and Veronica Horn, dated January 31st, 2025, 2 pages. Exhibit 7 is a summary of signs permitted but built against conditions, and signs never permitted, prepared by Jessica Roberts, Wilmington Zoning Administrator, and dated February 19th, 2025. Exhibit 8 is a suspected violation report form for 7 North Main Street. Exhibit 9 is a notice of violation letter from Town of Wilmington to Matt and Veronica Horn, dated December 13th, 2024. Exhibit 10 is photos of signage, 2 photos. Exhibit 11 is a butter list. Exhibit 12 is a previous sign permit number 2023-082, 2 pages. Exhibit 13 is photos of signs, 4 photos. Exhibit 14 is a photo of a sandwich board sign. And finally, Exhibit 15 is the flood hazard map for 7 North Main Street.
Thank you, John. So I just have some questions because I'm kind of confused. How many businesses are you actually running in that space over there?
We have 3 businesses. We have the cannabis business, Matterhorn Apothecary. We have the hot dog, the Matterhorn Doghouse, and we have the Matterhorn Reed Sauna and Spa. But you know that though.
Those are the original businesses, right?
We finally put them all together.
So the question then is, the reason that I put in Article 6, because I had forgotten about your corner, Article 6 being flood, is because in your corner,
Yeah.
you have a sign that is not a permitted sign, and I don't believe it's a permitted retail use, that says ski chairs for sale. So
Yeah.
are you adding another business to your businesses?
No, it's
No,
part
we
of,
sell gift items in our,
it's part of the
apothecary. It's just
apothecary.
something that we build and we make.
Okay, but that unpermitted sign is in that flood corner, so that is why after I went and looked at it,
Oh.
I added the whole Article 6, because I didn't realize that you had anything in that flood corner.
So if I can speak for a minute on that. We have a lot of calling. The people enjoy sitting in the chairs, and we have people giving us chairs, and that's what we build them. We build them up in Maine ourselves and bring them down. So that was a space, that's our property. We thought right now they're full of snow. You can't really quite sell them, but if we sell them as part of the business.
Excuse me? Oh, sure. Okay, so that answers that question. So if they're selling those ski chairs, is that a change of use in any way? Do we need to look at anything else?
So it really is gonna be a judgment call on your end. They had the apothecary, and then they needed a new use to sell spas.
Right.
So you could
that's all
say they
been
need a new
permitted.
use to sell the furniture, the lawn furniture, or whatever they're gonna call it. But
Can I say?
it's really, it's a judgment call on DRBs.
Yes,
In
Matt.
our apothecary where we sell cannabis and cannabis items, we also sell candles. We sell jewelry. We sell cutting boards. These are all of the gifts.
Under sales and
I
use.
would guess I'm not permitted for that then.
We sell,
'Cause I don't understand that if everything that you sell in a building has to be permitted.
we're not only just an apothecary, we sell products besides that. So when you walk in, to the left, we direct for that, but you also can go into an area where we have shirts, as Matt said, candles, really nice things, and at the outside, that's part of ours, and we pay the taxes for that.
So it's
under sales
retail.
and use. It's retail.
So it's
We-
retail.
We are.
Right, you
we
could
are
see it as retail. It'd be
It
a
all
judgment
goes
call.
to the tax.
Back in the beginning,
Yeah.
because we've we've gone through different, you were looking for retail use.
Retail, yes. it's part
Right,
of
so
the-
you are doing retail
This-
use.
Yes.
That's true, but you could have different types of retail, such as when you start selling spas, or say they started selling shoes, that would need, it's a judgment call, where you're gonna draw that line, that different retail needs a different use, but there are definitely different uses of retail.
So look, can I ask a question? So if I piled all those ski chairs in my house, in the building, I'd be fine, right?
No, she's not saying it's not wrong.
No, no,
I'm not-
because I-
No, there's
I'm
No,
not
I know you're
questioning.
not. I'm not here arguing or trying
Right.
to
No,
fight with you.
no.
I'm just trying to figure it out. We're trying to make a living here. You know, everyone thinks because you're in this business,
Cannabis
you
is
got
like,
millions.
it's
You
like
got
soil.
millions. If you follow the
It's just
industry,
like-
you go to right around the corner to
Yeah.
Massachusetts, and the price is a quarter. So,
it's a very saturated
It's,
industry, so you have to be expansive.
so we try and just do the things that we know how to do and do nicely.
Yeah.
And,
So that's what
That's
that's what you're
all.
exploring. It's a retail, it's part of retail for us.
That's all, that was the question.
It's part of retail.
I was not aware of it until I saw the new sign, the unpermitted sign.
Okay.
well, that's the problem though.
Lots
Because
of
people are
signs.
unaware that we don't have ski chairs. People are unaware of what we sell in our building because we have to have curtains and things so no one can see in. Makes it awful difficult. for
Right,
business.
that's not our rule.
I know that. I'm just saying.
So
And we
you
don't-
filed your application after multiple violations, and you were given a choice of either removing your signs or filing a new application. We appreciate the fact that you filed an application. What I don't understand, and I really do not understand, is you are aware that we have, as I just read, a large sign article. And I know you filed your application on February 18th. And you have added signs to your property since February 18th. And I do not understand why you are doing that when you know you are in violation of the sign ordinance.
What sign is that you're referring to? The signs that we added?
To the best of my knowledge, the chairs for sale on the front porch was not there.
That's been there for a year.
That's been there.
Well, what about the new thing around the hot dog? There's a
That's been
new
there
sign
since
on the hot dog.
Came in there.
I believe I might have missed putting that in the application. the
Well,
hot dog, but
I
not-
just-
But I didn't do that. Didn't do that on purpose. I tried very carefully to give Jessica every single one that
Well,
I have.
Yes.
We have a sign ordinance in Wilmington. Just, it's got a lot of sections. And we appreciate the fact that you filed a new application. And we appreciate the fact that we are here to talk about it. But I just wanted to ask those questions. And John, I appreciate my time. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. So as with the first application we reviewed, do you want to explain why you're here and what you're looking for the DRB to do today?
We're asking for approvals for the signs that we put up. You know, when we put up the signs, we weren't open, and I suppose we weren't thinking about it because you gave me some dates, I believe, December when I got the letter and I wasn't open. Remember that time I said, yes, we're putting the signs up, but we're not ready to go. And I didn't think about it. And then she sent me a letter and we still weren't open. And then we just designed it all with the vintage signs, feeling it would be a good look in that corner. So
So I believe this started back in July, though.
was that one, but I didn't do the open, yes, that's right, we opened in December. I'm losing a little bit.
When I
of perspective.
started noticing signs coming,
Right.
and then I just
Right.
kept seeing more and more signs.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I did answer to you with it, and we're here to get approval of the signs. That's what we're here for. That's what we came for, John.
So I just, there's a lengthy list of signs that you're seeking approval for in your application.
Yeah.
I believe there may be other signs that you are not seeking approval for in your application.
I missed the one that Cheryl just pointed out
Right.
on the hot
No, but
dog,
you
right?
talked to Jessica about that
Jessica?
recently, so.
Well, Jessica called
Like a
me.
week
No, I just talked to you about that this week, and then we
Yeah.
had the one that you're talking about is a sandwich board sign, which was new, which we added as an addendum. The
Yep,
blue
that's
sandwich
it.
board sign.
Right, and I
Well, I
missed.
thought I was under the impression that every storefront can have a sandwich board. Is that not true?
Can every-
I'm sorry, what was that, Matt?
I was under the impression that every storefront can have a sandwich board.
One,
So
Right.
like the hot dog is separate, that's a different business.
no,
It's different than the apothecary. It's a
you're,
different
it's your property.
So it's not business, then it's property,
I believe so,
but
correct?
it was business.
It says business. Our bylaws do say business can have one sandwich board sign and one open flag or open sign.
So what we can get to that when we get to Article 8. But
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I'm giving you an opportunity to see if there are signs that were not part of your application or the amended application with respect to the sandwich board.
Yes,
Any
John.
signs that you would like us to look at today?
Okay, thank you. Obviously, the hot dog sign, the chain around the hot dog structure. That's,
Okay.
I missed, I believe that you're alluding to. And the ski one was in there, I believe. I
Yes.
know it was, the picture.
It is in the list.
But I did miss that.
Yes, that went on the list. I believe you have an open flag for Matterhorn Apothecary.
Yes.
You haven't sought a permit for that.
Oh, the one, the second one you mean?
Well, no, there's one for Matterhorn Apothecary, and then there's one for Matterhorn hot dogs or what it's.
It's the same-
Dog-
it's a separate
There's
business.
two actually for Matterhorn Apothecary.
There's two for the apothecary.
And
Well,
one
that's-
for hot dog.
That's what I want to clarify, so.
Okay, I think I put that in there. But if
Well-
I didn't, Jessica, let me know. I didn't put the two of the,
No.
but I had the hot dog.
No, there is nothing about flags in your application.
So the two, so that extra flag has to be in there and the hot dog, did I put the hot dog flag picture in there?
Can I speak, John?
Absolutely, Jessica.
Okay, so I just want to clarify, you can have one open sign or flag per business. You have the open sign on the bike. I'm not sure which business that applies to. And
That's
then you've
been off of
got,
there since you told us.
You asked
Haven't
us,
had
we
an
took
open
that
sign.
off.
It has sayings on it now. Like today's a beautiful
The
day.
the open sign isn't there anymore?
On the bike?
No.
No, it hasn't been there.
But you
since
actually
the
got
bike.
permitted for that. So that was one of the ones you were that has a
Put it
permit.
back up.
But the issue is you can't have both. You can either have an open sign or a flag
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
per business.
right,
One,
So we need to take down one of the apothecary flags, is what you're saying.
yes.
if you got rid of the open sign, yeah.
There's 2 apothecary
Yeah.
flags
Just
now.
one you want.
So just one.
And then also make sure the hot dog doesn't have an open sign. It's just either an open flag or an open sign. That's what every
So
business
if
can
the
have.
hot dog stand has an open flag, that's okay?
Yes, but they can't have an open sign too. They could either have one or the other.
Okay.
Understand.
So one of the things that I am struggling with is because you got permits for certain signs and those permits, and they were based on the pictures that you sent us, the design, because they weren't built yet, because this was all before
That
that.
is right.
But they don't look like what you showed us they were supposed to be. So when you come and get a permit and you show us a design for that, we permit anything based on the design that we are shown at the time. It's an exhibit for that application.
Mhm.
So we now are looking at signs at your property that it is hard for me to determine which, if any, are actually permitted signs because they're not built as what you had said they were going to be built as. So one of the things I suggested to John is perhaps we need to clarify which signs on your property are actually permitted.
Yep, and I could clarify a little bit more, John, if you're willing for me to.
Absolutely, Jessica.
All right, so on the list right here, right, where I listed it, the whole summary of the signs, the ones at the
This
top.
is a part of everything.
The ones at the top are permitted. The next one that says sign permitted but built against conditions. So I was thinking that was the hot dog sign on the shed or the standing hot dog. But it turns out it's neither of those. It's the standing sign next to their front door that has the rules that the state makes them have that sign. So I talked to Ronnie about that and I said, that can be it doesn't perfectly fit, but that can be your sandwich board sign. So that's what that sign is. It's the sandwich board sign. It's not really a sandwich board sign. It's like the shape of Vermont, I believe,
Right.
and it has the rules on it. So
Okay.
neither the hot dog sculpture with the umbrella on top, nor the sign above the hot dog is what that's talking about. However, the sign above the hot dog stand was permitted not by me, but by the DRB when they came to get their hot dog stand permit. But like Cheryl says, it was permitted. Ed Adrian has a picture of it on his letter where
Okay.
that's what it was permitted as.
A certain shape that we.
It's, I mean, as I said,
size and shape.
it's not what we gave you a permit based on the design that we were given with the application. And
Okay.
it's not that.
So we have to,
Well, I have to say that I'm sorry, John, can I speak?
Oh, go right ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
That's my fault then, because I'm a landscape architect, but I don't do architectural drawings. So when I drew up this shed, I can guarantee you the shed isn't exactly what I gave you as far as shape.
It is
Because
not.
things change. So in the middle of it, it's just a shed. And the problem we had was that exact sign that I gave you wouldn't have fit. So everything that was in that first sign is there now, except I have the one little hot dog thing above it. I personally didn't think that was gonna be a tremendous deal.
we had a.
You know, I can understand you're upset about the other signs. I'm not debating that. But that one, I'm a little baffled on myself. I mean,
Well, I'm baffled
Yeah.
because, as I said, for me, I'm looking at our multi-years of permitting and stuff, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what we permitted. And
Right,
thank
that's
you,
why you
Jessica,
have to
for
build it the
helping.
same way, because years later, the next ZA needs to say, oh, they got permitted for a sign that
So
looks
then
like
we
this.
should have come in for.
Do an amendment. You could do an amendment.
We didn't think of that.
Yeah.
You are in the downtown historic district.
And here we are.
You want it all also.
Okay, so just getting back to your application, so we're focused on the hot dog shed right now. We're just talking about two signs. One, I'm just gonna call the image of the hot dog, which is at the top of the hot dog shed. So you want to get that permitted, correct?
Yes.
Yes, please.
That way the sign is now.
Okay. So the hot dog image sign, and then right below it says Matterhorn Doghouse, and you want to get that permitted too.
Yes.
Okay. So just moving down the hot dog shed. Before we go there, there are three. It appears that there are three lights on the hot dog shed. Two are downcast, I believe, for the Matterhorn Doghouse sign. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll discuss those. Then there appears to be an other light, which is on the overhang over the order window. Is that a light?
On the roof?
Yeah, on the roof.
Yeah, that's shining up at the sign. Two are over the sign, shining down, and one is
Okay.
there shining up.
Okay. So there's three lights. Okay, two shining down
It's me shining at it.
and one shining up. And I'm going to apologize. There are a lot of moving pieces to this application, and so I'm just really trying to make sure that I get everything. So I apologize at the very beginning that I'm just trying to make sure I identify everything that we're working on.
Okay.
Shining up. Okay. So then let's go down to the order window. There appears to be signs on the left and right. One I was able to see in the photo is a hot dog sign, and that's on the left if you're facing the hot dog shed. What's the sign on the right?
This. Well, I can't see that, sorry.
So he's saying the signs here.
Yeah, there's a sign on the left and a sign on the right of the order window.
Can I grab that?
Yeah,
That's something, it's a sales tool, I believe, that after all this fact, Vienna sent us a lot of this stuff. Those I have no problem taking off of there. So,
Okay, so both those signs you're going to remove.
8.5 by 11.
what's a sales tool mean?
Is that a menu? What is
A
that?
menu or?
Yeah, it's showing you what our soup looks like, or what a hot dog may look like, of one of our choices.
But not a menu, it's not a menu sign.
No,
No.
that's another issue.
No.
I'm sure we're gonna have.
We're doing our best here, so.
Oh, I'm not-
I know,
listen,
just,
Charlie,
I'm
we
just
know,
saying.
we know. You are doing your best.
Okay. Okay. We've identified, I hope all the signs, but let me just double check. Flag, Okay, so just going to your exhibit, where is it? So you have photos of a number of signs that are not actually affixed to any structure at this point. You have pictures of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that appear to be in the shape of hot dogs. They say like, "Franks for coming, relish the moment, mustered your courage, dog so good, and the taste that raises the woof." Where are those signs going to be located?
Mainly on the doghouse. We just thought it would be something amusing.
Okay, so those
People
Hot
may
dogs.
smile.
will be affixed. Where will they be affixed to the doghouse? Because I'm
Probably to the arms coming down, John, that hold the roof up. They're not that big of a sign.
Okay, So, okay, so I see the arms, I see. Arms coming down.
Hmm.
Good. Okay. And then, all right, so then I'm looking at this picture still. There's two exit signs. Where are those exit signs gonna go?
They're not up, and so that shouldn't even be in here personally. Those were signs we were thinking about putting up, and we're not gonna put them up.
Okay, so,
Like safety reasons, but we don't see it necessary at the point.
okay,
So they're not going up.
so they're not part of the application. Okay, great.
Well,
Go ahead.
they were part of the application, but they're not, I haven't put them up. You know, I've done other things that I probably shouldn't have, but those are not even up. So we're not gonna put them up.
Okay, well, that's the important thing, that you're not gonna put them up.
Yes,
That's right.
of course.
Okay, good. Then you have a watch for falling snow sign. Where's that gonna go?
That's on the building right now because we had a serious happening there. Luckily, no one got killed.
All right.
Off the roof, so
It knocked off
Well, it'd be a
our,
safety area, not.
it has knocked off our, all the live edge. It broke 2 ski chairs, damaged our fire pit, and there had to be 10,000 pounds of ice coming off.
Okay, so where is it currently located?
It's currently right above my hose bib. You can't see it from the
Side of
road.
the house.
You can only see it when you get into the place, and we just don't want anyone to walk near there. I mean,
What structure is it on?
it's on the apothecary.
On the
It's on
actual.
the side, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
When
anywhere
you
in
come
the-
out of my apothecary, make a right, and you
Right by
step
the
down
house.
and you go towards the hot dog shed, it's right there.
You can see it.
Okay,
It might be below the American flag.
Yes,
Exactly.
okay, great. And then there's another sign that says line starts here.
yeah, I'm gonna take that down, John.
So that's out of the application. Okay,
And now it is. I have it up, but I am gonna take it down.
You know,
okay,
I don't see that.
This has been a very soft opening in the winter time of a hot dog stand. Follow to see what's needed and directed.
okay. And then there's, I believe, an employees only sign.
That's not up either. And
And-
I have no reason to put that up. Seeing,
Okay.
It won't be
seeing
out.
that no one went where they shouldn't go.
Okay, so that's not coming up. Okay. Employees only.
I'm painting.
Okay. Okay, I think. All right, so I think we know where all the signs are located or are not located. Oh, there's one other thing, and I was a little confused by this. Just so we're talking about the same building, what do you call the structure with the garage door like thing?
Well,
Garage door, I mean, there is no name for it. It's just an old garage with a
we keep the
little
wood in
building
it.
up top. We keep our,
Woodshed?
yeah, we keep our firewood in there.
Okay.
Are you still using the second floor of that for your sauna?
Spas?
No, we ended up not using it. It was gonna
We
be
used it for
retail,
storage.
or it was gonna be for display. We don't really need
You
it.
don't
We
perceive we
find
need
that,
it.
so we use it for storage, basically. So it's.
So that's
it's
not,
closed.
that's no longer part of the display.
So we should
closed.
change that in this decision, that you're gonna change it from a display area to storage, so that what you
Yes.
use
The building
matches. the
itself.
permit.
Yes, exactly, yes.
So just remember,
We'd have to come to it if we
if,
change it.
if that's what you want to
I get
do,
that.
we gotta do it. But you gotta remember, if you decide to change it back, you're gonna have to come back. So
Yep,
you gotta think through,
through it.
right?
So Jessica, if that's a change of use, correct?
Right, you're gonna need to put that, I'll do it on my permit as well, but they're changing, per their testimony, changing the use from display to storage
For that
for
barn.
that
Yeah.
building.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so getting back to that building. In the picture that I have, there's, I don't know what it is to the right of the doors. It's a wood, it's a wood thing with like stickers on it.
Yeah,
But
What
what we found in a lot of businesses, not only mine, people love to put stickers on buildings, on things, so we decided that I'd put a piece of wood up, and if anyone wants to put a sticker, they can put it there.
appropriate stickers, appropriate slap stickers they're called. And we find them all around, we'll find them around our building or, and we find it all not aesthetic. So we thought if we had a space for it, based on that slap sticker, that it's nice. It's like a totem pole of people's journey. They're happy to see it. That's why we did it.
Okay,
Controlling it.
I thought it was skis. I didn't realize it was
No, it's wood.
It's
just a
wood.
big slab of wood.
It's wood. It's just wood. Because we have
stickers.
people putting
Okay.
them everywhere.
And I think I just have one final question. Okay, so customer entries. There's a customer entry for Matterhorn's Apothecary, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
There are no customer entries for the hot dog shed or the hot tub business. Is that correct?
I'm not sure what you exactly mean. I mean, there's cut, like, in the springtime, in the wintertime, we cut out 2 areas where they can walk in or out.
In the snow.
In the summer and springtime, we have it all lined with beautiful planters, and we'll leave space on both sides where they can come in. And in order to get to the hot tubs, is more or less a personal thing, meaning we have brochures, and they would ask us on a point, we bring them up the stairs that we put in on your request to go up there.
So I guess what I mean by customer entry is a door into a building.
No,
No door in the building. We don't
no
have.
door in any building for
It's
that.
open space.
So the only door into a building is at Matterhorn Apothecary, correct?
Correct. There's
Yes.
one in the front and one in the side, which we don't use.
Right, okay.
One on the side you don't use though, right?
Well, we personally use it under code. We don't allow people to go in and out of there.
Meaning we have a
It's
lock.
just
It's just an exit.
They have to
yeah.
come in the front to us.
Right.
Okay, so, I might as well get into this now.
Can I back up, John?
Sure, go right ahead, Charlie.
Look at the ordinance, going back to the freestanding sign. It says each property is allowed just one freestanding sign with the exception of properties with multiple buildings accessed by separate driveways, in which case each driveway is allowed one freestanding sign. So
So
Jessica saying,
Charlie, we haven't even gone to the
okay,
zoning
Sorry.
ordinance yet. We're still working on the exhibits.
okay,
We haven't gotten there yet.
keep going, sorry.
No, that's all right. So I think we've identified all of the signs and stuff. What is still missing from the application is, so the open flag for Matterhorn Apothecary. I guess you're not going to use the bike, or you are going to use the bike. Which
We
one?
have a bike, we just have a bike now with just sayings on it. Like, have a nice day.
So you're not going to use the open flag for Matterhorn Apothecary.
We're using one open flag for the Matterhorn Apothecary. We'll remove
Okay. So we're going to need the measurements for that.
the flag.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't have the hot dog flag either, right?
Yes, and that's the next thing, a hot dog flag. We need measurements for that.
Okay.
Same thing.
But I don't know that the DRB needs them. Doesn't Jessica need them? Because they're permitted signs.
You mean they're exempt signs?
This is the allowed, yeah,
The
exempt,
flags are exempt,
as long as they're 6
as
feet.
long as there's, yeah, if
As long as
they.
they're 6 feet.
Yeah, 6 square feet is like then they're
Yeah.
exempt.
Well, and
we-
there has to be, I don't know if you were saying this, but there has to be 7 feet of clearance.
Yes,
So people can walk under them.
They can. We're small, we're just traditional small flags.
so, and this is where I get a little confused, because you did reference one of the, now I'm going back to the 2 hot dog signs above the order window. One, you had it measured at 18 by 30, and I think that's the Matterhorn Doghouse sign. Am I correct in that?
Not following.
It's
Sorry.
the long one that says Matterhorn
The
Doghouse.
one above.
Yeah. Well,
Hot dog above main sign is 18 by 30, 18
Right.
inches, 30 inches.
Right, so what, I'm just trying to get, because what I don't have is the measurements for the image sign above that.
that was the image sign she just said.
That is the image sign. What you don't
Okay.
have is the one that says Matterhorn Dog House.
The long one.
Which they did get permitted, so they're not coming to get a permit. They've already got a permit for that.
It's changed though.
Right, they have a permit to build it.
That
like
one
on
hasn't
this change.
changed, John, what's changed on that one is the thing that sits above it was supposed to be on that sign, it just wouldn't fit. So we made that into another one, not thinking I would have to come and get another permit. But
Okay. All right,
Is that correct, Jessica?
Huh?
Is correct what we said here, right? I mean.
I believe
sign-
that's all correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a letter, you have a copy of Ed Adrian's letter, right? That has the shed on it,
Yeah.
has the drawing on it, okay.
Yeah, but if that has
All
to
right.
be measured,
all right, so the next thing is the sandwich board, which is exhibit 14. I need the measurements for that sign.
The blue sandwich board,
Yes, all right, that I think is it as far as sizes go. All right. Now we're gonna go start walking through the zoning ordinances, and we're gonna start with the administrative procedures. You've both been to a DRB hearing before, and understand, I think, the process somewhat about how the DRB works, but I do want to highlight a couple of sections for you that specifically deal with signs. So specifically, I want to mention section 229, which is dimensional and sign waivers granted by the DRB. This section states that sign waivers can be requested from the DRB. It notes that in applying for a waiver, the burden of proof is on the applicant to demonstrate that the waiver request meets the waiver criteria in section 233. And that's the next section I'm going to reference, which is section 233, criteria for obtaining a sign waiver from the DRB. Waivers can only be granted if the sign is found to be in the public interest and will contribute to the character of the community. This section specifically references section 850, conditional sign waivers, requiring a written decision and approval from the DRB. Section 850 indicates that a waiver may be requested from the DRB for signs not meeting all the requirements of section 8. So you understand, if you are seeking a waiver, that you will have the burden of proof to prove that it's in the public interest to have a waiver granted for those signs. Do you understand that?
yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Section 234, dimensional and sign waiver application and review process of the DRB. This section indicates that the DRB follows the same process as it does for conditional uses, including assessing the impact on abutters in deciding whether to grant a waiver or place conditions on a waiver. Section 240 deals with appeals, as does section 246. This basically describes our appeal process if you disagree with the DRB's decision. And then, section 271 and 272 discuss public hearings and who can attend public hearings. Do you have any questions about our administrative procedures?
No,
No.
Okay, great. So then we'll move on to Article 4, districts and its uses. So as I think you know, you're in the village district, and you're also in the historic design review district and the village design review district. The purpose of the village district is to retain the character of the existing village, provide for future residential and commercial development through historically appropriate structures and business types at appropriate densities, and promote residential and tourist quality of life by preserving and developing a clustered village reflecting a visibly vibrant and energized community. It then goes through the site criteria for a village district. Do you have any questions about Article 4?
No,
No,
Okay. So then we move on to Article 5, which is a historic design review district. So you're in the historic design review district. And because of that, section 530E, development review board site plan and design review required. I just want to point out that, section 530E requires the DRB approval of significant changes to site features, and that includes signs. So when you change a sign, you have to come to the DRB. You understand that?
yes,
we do now.
Good. All right. I'm now going to move on to the flood hazard district. So Article 6, flood hazard district, applies to the flood hazard area. And as you may know, or I don't know if you've seen it, but Jessica Roberts did send me a map this morning, which shows that a small chunk of your property, a very small chunk, is in the flood hazard district. I think that the only potential issue here is the location of the sign called Frankie, the freestanding sign of the hot dog.
I mean, the statuary,
Yes.
that's not in the flood district, though.
I think
Okay. We just need to make sure. Go ahead, Jessica.
Oh, no, that was,
Nope, that was
That was
wrong.
Ronnie.
that was
That was
Ronnie.
Ronnie.
I
Oh,
think-
sorry. My apologies.
I'm sorry, John, but I think that chunk of the flood district, if I'm not, unless it's changed, is that corner.
It's just that corner.
That's.
Well, no, but the flood district can also be areas that flood. So
Oh.
the flood map is just a guide, but if that area floods, you need to be considerate of, does that area flood? Do you need to anchor anything down? I know you've
Right.
anchored down, I believe you've anchored your
Everything,
chairs
Yes.
around the fire pit, even though they're not in the flood district,
Yes.
because they might flood.
yeah,
It might
that was a
flood there.
request.
Yeah.
Does Frankie need a change?
I don't know. It's up
The
to
hot dog
DRB.
would need to be,
Anchored.
Anchored.
yes, anchored.
And what are you calling anchored? I mean, I'm
Like a
not being
chain,
funny.
like,
Do you want
no.
me to stake it to the ground, like drill a 3-foot post down into the ground?
Something so that
Okay.
if water
Does he
comes
already have
rushing
something
by
in
it.
the back anyway?
Yeah, I can do
It
something.
looks like there's already something on
Yeah,
there.
I can do
Yeah, I think
something.
maybe that's.
Is that
right,
already in the
Crystal.
ground?
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's not. It's heavy as
Oh,
anything.
okay.
I
Maybe we
can
could
barely
stake
move
it
it.
down.
Oh, okay.
and-
But that doesn't mean water.
So that is really the only freestanding sign on the property, I believe, except
Yeah.
for the sandwich boards.
This, when we
Correct,
have to get the
yes.
sandwich board to say what's
And
going
they
on.
have to come in every night anyway.
Correct.
All right.
Okay,
So we're done with Article 6. Now we're going to move on to the most important article tonight, which is Article 8, signs. So we're going to first focus on allowed and exempt signs, which is section 822 and 823. So 822E allows one open/closed sign or flag per business, only when a business is open. So that has to be taken in or removed when the business is closed. So you understand that?
yes,
Yep.
we do that.
So 822F allows public convenience signs, and public convenience signs are just signs like some of the ones that you have, like the 21 plus age or cash only, things that help customers with directions. So those are allowed or exempt signs. And then 822H allows one A-frame sandwich board sign per business. And that sign shall not be displayed when the business is closed and shall be located directly in front of the business. Okay?
Yeah,
So the one picture I have of the sandwich board does not have it directly in front of the business.
the apron,
It was on top of the snowbank.
Which is directly in
was-
front of the business.
we had it kind of on the.
You got it on the snowbank, you're correct. It's directly in front of the business.
The blue one, is that a hot dog sandwich board sign?
Yeah.
Yes, a hot dog sandwich board sign.
Yeah, that's the one that we put on the snow right now, but otherwise we
It's
keep
hard
it
to
on.
tell from the image where it is.
It looks more like
It's
it's
just
next to the
difficult, I
road.
think, from the angle
Next
that's,
Next to what?
the where?
The road,
It is next to the road, but it's still in front of the business.
But it's not
I
on
mean, Are
the,
you
is
saying
that
that
too
it's
close to
gotta
the
be
road?
close to the business? I'm not,
it's supposed to be specifically in front of the business.
So
So specifically in front of the business would be, whether, is this one for the
well,
hot
if the
dogs?
snow-
Yes, it is.
if the snow,
The blue one would have to be probably more like where the fire pit is,
yeah, we have the snow in the way.
because that's in front of, the business
That's
is the hot dog
that's the-
stand. So,
In front of the hot dogs, in front of the, we can't go that close. We have,
There's no
we,
purpose to have it, it's right in front of the stand.
we have the snow as a problem.
I mean,
right now.
the,
I think
yeah,
that's
that
the
sign is
problem.
movable.
Time of the
It's
year.
movable, and
Yeah.
it's just the snow problem that we have right now, and it's almost gone, so
Well,
it won't work that way.
unfortunately, you don't have it anymore. We had the rain.
It's this
Right.
snow, it's almost melting.
And also all the ones that John's talking about right now fall into that rule where if you look at section 822, it says subject to a maximum of 6 square feet in total area per side. So that's why he was asking for the measurements. Because you
Okay,
just have to be mindful of those
Yeah,
size
they're each 3 foot.
requirements.
Yeah,
square
it
feet.
looks about.
Yeah,
it's right, it's
But
three,
just
3
that-
feet.
that's part of the,
We'll give you exact measurements, but it's around 3 feet by 3 or something like that, small.
All right.
Okay, got it.
So that's it under section 822, but I'm going to move on to 823K, which also relates to allowed and exempt signs. I did notice that and I forgot to mention this when I was talking about signs before, but there is one picture that you sent us of Frankie, the freestanding sign has an umbrella over it. Which I believe has some commercial printing on top of it. So section 823K allows 1 table umbrella for each permitted outdoor customer table. I don't believe you're permitted for any customer tables. Is that correct?
You do not have any, you have not applied for
We
any
didn't apply yet.
outdoor tables. So you
No.
don't have a permit for outdoor dining,
Or Frankie,
correct?
or Frankie, we don't have a permit for Frankie.
Right.
Well, you also don't have a permit for the table umbrella.
We have to have a permit if someone sits down at the chair and has a hot dog?
You have to have a permit for the umbrella that's on top of the hot dog.
Okay. We
We don't, I mean, as John just read to you, it speaks specifically to that. It allows one
It
table
allows
umbrella
one
for each
table umbrella.
permanent
Right.
outdoor customer table, but you don't have any permits for any outdoor customer tables, because you do not have a permit for outdoor dining.
So we can't use the umbrella with Frankie, you're saying? We can't,
Not under 823K, you cannot.
is there another rule that we can give him an umbrella?
So let me ask you a question. If we wanted to have 1 table, can we apply for that or no?
If you wanted to have one table for outdoor dining, you
Yeah.
would have to come to the DRB to get a permit for outdoor.
You'd also
dining.
need different sewer allocation, because now you're adding customer table, you'd have additional sewer allocation for that.
Oh, interesting.
Why is that? They have garbage, we throw it in the garbage can and they leave.
Because every time you add a customer seating, as everyone knows who does restaurant permits,
Oh, you have to have a restroom for them to
you're
use?
adding, right, you're adding people who
Oh,
sit there.
Wait,
You
so,
need more
no, but what
allocation.
you're really saying is if I added a table, I need to add a bathroom. That's what you're saying.
It sounds like.
Not a
wait.
bathroom, I'm saying
No.
if you added a table, I don't know if you need a bathroom, but I know you're gonna
So
need
why
more
would I
sewer
need-
allocation.
Why would I need a sewer allocation if I don't have a bathroom?
Yeah, that's just a question.
That's
that I'm
my
wondering.
question. So
Doesn't
you're
that
really
relate?
saying I need a bathroom.
Maybe,
to have a
I mean,
table.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a John Lozelle
That's a John
question.
Lozelle question.
Yeah,
they just count your.
We
seating
don't
towards
do
outdoor.
sewer
Yeah.
allocations. That's John Lozelle.
Okay.
okay. All right.
We just know what the rules
Gotcha.
say.
Gotcha.
All right. So now we'll. All right, so now we'll move on to permitted signs. So permitted signs are covered by section 830, 831, 832, and 833. And the two critical sections here are section 832, number of signs, and 833, size of signs. So, where is it?
Can I just ask a question, John, before you go on
Sure.
that?
Go right
Um,
ahead, Jessica.
Well, because this is bringing up questions in my mind about the hot dog stand. Do you have a specific allocation for customers to eat their hot dogs there?
No, they can.
They're just
it's
supposed
really-
to-
they
they're supposed to
usually
buy
take
and
it
leave?
They leave or they,
Okay.
you know,
Do you have it's a commercial caterer license that you got to sell?
oh, yes, we do.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, is that what it's categorized as, commercial caterer, or is
No,
it
it's
something
a
else?
food truck.
It's,
Food truck,
It's a
okay.
food
but
truck.
it's under that. It's,
Okay.
that's the
Yeah, yeah.
designate for
That-
the sales.
and those don't
sales tax
require-
and stuff.
Seating when you get them.
If you don't provide seating,
Yes.
probably.
All right. So let's get back to section 832, number of signs.
Sure.
So section 832A allows one freestanding sign per business. No, actually, that's not true.
One sign that all the businesses can be listed on, but you can still only have one sign
One freestanding sign.
unless you have different driveways.
Yep, that's right. So section 832B deals with overhanging signs, which is really not an issue here. But then we get to 832C, which deals with one structure mounted sign per customer entry. So you already have one of those, which is the permitted Matterhorn Apothecary sign that is on the cannabis store. So that's already permitted. Now-
Question, John?
Yes, go right ahead, Jessica.
Would the hot dogs be hanging signs if he hangs them off the awning or the structures? You know, the
I would-
signs that are saying,
Well,
like hot
those,
dogs?
those would fall under 832D, which is structure mounted signs where there is no customer entry, but facing a public area.
I was thinking they were gonna be hanging, but you're saying they're gonna be on the structure. Is that right?
Well, I guess we should hear from the horns about how they're gonna be affixed to the structure.
Which signs are you talking about? Because they're all affixed to the structure.
The 5 hot dogs that
The
have
ones
the
that have the
humorous
sayings.
sayings
Yeah,
on
they're
them?
affixed to that arm, I said. They're gonna
Remember
be
that
screwed
arm?
into that arm that holds up my roof. They're
Okay,
not even facing the road. So when
Okay.
customers come up and order, they
Oh, I
look and
see.
they
On
get
the
it.
side.
Make them laugh
They get
or
a
smile
chuckle.
while they're waiting.
But I
something like
guess.
that.
All right.
Humorous.
So here's where we run into a big problem. You're allowed one structured mounted sign per side of a building where there's no customer entry. Has to be facing a public area.
What size is that sign allowed to be?
What side? It has to
What
be,
size? No, I'm sorry, what
Size.
size?
we'll get to size next. That's in 833, but you're allowed to have one sign.
yeah.
So when you, so then on the front of my building, the Matterhorn Doghouse and the hot dog itself,
So
well, I
right
can
now,
connect it to that sign, so it would be one sign. That would be my only sign allowed there.
Is
that
what
right?
you're
yes,
saying?
yes. And you can only have one side on the side where there's like a what's it called, like a countertop?
Okay, I hear you.
Service area.
Yep, service area, and that also goes for,
So if I have a wall, this is a wall, can I have a sign that's connected to the wall, but it hangs out like that? Is that not allowed? It's not flush mounted?
That's what we're talking, that's the one I was asking about. That's called a hanging sign, perpendicular.
I don't have any,
You don't have any of those.
but I'm asking, does that constitute as one?
yes, well, no, that's under 832B. You're allowed one overhanging sign.
Where though? Well, the thing I'm trying to do is, tasteful advertising helps with sales of products. So I have one side of my building that's up against the garage. Obviously, no sign there. But the front does jut out some where I could put a hanging sign that goes in front. That's what I'm asking. Will that work for a possible sign? It's still on the side of my building, but so if this is a building,
Tell them which one.
this is a hot dog building. My garage is right here, John.
Yep,
Right there. The garage is right here. But this building juts out a little bit past there. Can I put a hanging sign that way? So it's gonna face the road, but it's still connected to this side of the building.
That's a
am-
hanging sign.
Yeah, that would be
I
considered.
think you can have one overhanging sign like that.
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
One overhanging.
832B says one overhanging sign or perpendicular to a public walkway is encouraged.
Yep.
Allowing them to be visible to pedestrians and drivers from a distance. But you're gonna be limited under the village restrictions in square footage for that.
Yes.
You know what that is, Jessica?
Yes, it depends on if the structure is less than 2 stories, which I believe yours are, or more than two
It's
stories or
one
more.
story.
So 1 story would be 12 square feet if it's not overhanging a public area, and 6 square feet if it is overhanging a public area.
Gotcha, thank you.
So,
And that's on page 86 of our bylaws.
Thanks.
so with respect, I assume you want to keep on the, hold on. And back, on the hot dog shed, you probably want to keep the Matterhorn doghouse sign, correct?
I'm sorry, John, I apologize.
That's all right, no problem. I assume that you want to keep the Matterhorn doghouse sign on the hot dog shed?
I'd prefer to, yes.
Okay, so, okay. That will be the sign there. And then,
Yeah.
all right, so then hold on. Okay, so then we're looking at the side of Matterhorn Apothecary. On that side structure, the side facing the hot dog shed,
Yes.
it appears you have 2 signs. One, which is a blank piece of wood with a light over it. I believe that's going to be a menu sign, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, and then you have a little hot dog sign next to it.
yeah, it's something funny, we can
Okay.
take it.
So again, you're only allowed to have one of those signs. I assume you want the menu?
Yeah, but let me ask you this question. You said I'm only allowed to have one, but I do have that other sign there that says watch for ice falling on your head.
That is an exempt or allowed sign, so that doesn't fall under the number requirement.
Thank you.
And so there's a light there, and I believe that light is downcast.
Downcast to shine only on the menu.
Okay. All right. All right.
John,
Yes, go ahead, Jessica.
I just want to mention, we keep talking about lights being downcast, but the bylaws specifically say downcast and shielded. We need to make sure all the
They're
lights are
shielded.
downcast.
This
All
one
the
shows
lights
that
I
it's
have are
shielded.
Okay. All right. So did you hear that?
Yes, they're shielded.
Okay, good. All right, I think, that then going down through Article 8, I just point out that it does cover waivers, appeals of waivers and things like that. So, do you have any questions about Article 8? And does anybody on the board have any questions about Article 8?
What is that again? The eight.
What is Article 8, John? I mean, I don't need to read you the whole
Oh,
thing.
that's what we've just been talking about, signs.
That's the
Oh,
whole,
okay.
that's the whole sign.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
sorry
all-
about that.
I didn't write that
Allowed,
down.
it's
I wrote
okay.
down a lot, but
We,
not that.
okay.
Well, it says or.
I have one question, John.
Or perpendicular.
Go ahead, Jessica.
Jessica does. We didn't have the hot dog freestanding sign, the Frankie. We didn't have that clearly in your list. I just want to make sure that you're asking to get that
We are.
permitted.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, Frankie is on my list.
great.
Realized it had a name.
I love cute. That's my cat's name.
So cute.
Nice. Why don't you bring Frankie down to meet Frankie?
Right?
All right. Okay, so does anybody in the DRB have any questions?
Well, I have a question.
Possibly, but I'm still organizing my thoughts.
I want to know if we need a site visit.
I think we should probably have one.
Well, can I ask a question on that? Do you want to have a site visit now, or when I correct what I know I have to correct? So you're not.
After
overwhelmed.
you've made the corrections.
Okay.
What we would
That's
do,
fine.
so if we feel, if the DRB feels that we need to have a site visit, what we do is
No, I
we
encourage it.
continue the hearing. We set a date to have a site
Yeah.
visit. We go
That's
to
fine.
your site. We don't ask any questions. You can tell us anything you want, but we are not allowed to ask any questions because it is not testimony. I mean, you can point anything out or tell us anything, but will not ask you any questions.
Listen,
We will go to the site. I will take my phone and I will show John what we're doing because John will not be actually present, but he will be on the phone for the site visit. So what we will do if we have a site visit is we will continue this. We'll set a date for the site visit and then we will continue this hearing for another DRB hearing date. So
Okay.
you won't answer until we set the new hearing date.
And I have a question, if they want to add a perpendicular sign, which it sounds like they might want to do, can that be added to this hearing still?
Yes, we'd like to do that.
Sure.
So we know what we need to remove.
So just send in a sketch of what you want.
And you'll
Yeah.
need to make sure you just read
And I'll add
carefully,
it to
because
the
it says
file.
one sign overhanging or perpendicular to a public walkway is how it's encouraged, as an overhanging sign.
That's
You
the
just-
sign you're talking
Whenever you
about.
orient it, it needs to be,
all right, well, that's a little bit confusing.
I know, so
let
think
me,
it's
Let
confusing,
me see
that's
if I
why.
can do this with paper.
Read page 86 and 85
Yeah,
of the ordinance
85.
when you're doing
So
it.
these are my two buildings.
correct.
One sticks out like that. I plan on putting a beautiful angle iron thing coming out, holding a sign over this building. So it's neither over a walk. What was the other one you said?
It says overhanging or
Perpendicular.
perpendicular to a public walkway.
Well,
Is
this
it
is all
perfect?
walkway here. The whole thing is a walkway.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's very technical.
So we're
to
looking-
be
It
honest
could
with
still
you.
be perpendicular
That's where
to
we
it.
want to go
It
out.
doesn't
like
have to
that.
be over the walkway.
Okay,
It won't
well, listen, I'll put it up and I'll have to take it down. They'll tell me.
There's,
We'll move it
or
somewhere
look
else.
around town, there's several examples around town where people have them. And you can see how they've done them.
Well, I see the one at Dots. That's pretty memorable. I mean, it's hanging out from the building. This is not really hanging out from the building that way.
No, while we're talking about things, your menu board, there are ordinance rules for the menu board as well. So make sure you talk to Jessica about what the size is for
Well,
that.
there's not yet. We have nothing, it's just treated like another sign right
It's
now.
treated
We don't
Right,
have it in there yet.
exactly.
Whatever sign is gonna be it's gonna be beautiful, but they're gonna have each item in a beautifully hand painted piece of wood, or I don't know what we're using exactly, and they're all gonna fit on there and that's it.
And the one that has the loud.
It's gonna be just on that one.
Yeah, but there'll be probably 20 signs on
So, you
that,
know,
but they're all like this big, you know. to
The
fit on our
Right,
board.
that'll be a structure mounted sign, not on a customer entry facing a public area. So
Not
you're,
facing the public.
right, it's facing the public area, but it's not
Not facing the road.
It's not facing the road, but it's still
Yeah,
facing the public
okay.
area. So your limit on that is gonna be 12 square feet. 12 square feet for one to two businesses. 3 or more businesses is 16, but I think I would read that as all 3 businesses have to be on that sign, right? So
Well, I can
you're
do
only
that.
dealing with one business,
can
so it would be
do that.
12 square feet.
12 square, no, I'm gonna write 16.
I just
on there.
want to make sure, that's why I
No, I appreciate that.
suggested
yeah.
that you make sure you
As
have
long as
the
they're
right,
being done now, I can always stop it. Yeah, I
right,
gotta
but,
figure this out.
be easier. So I don't want to ever talk
Well, just
signs
like
with you
a 2
guys
by
again.
6.
No, please, no, this is it.
Please.
No more.
Cheryl. So, okay, so let's go back to our continuing to a site visit.
I say yes.
What does everybody think?
I think it's
Wait,
helpful to
Charlie.
see things
No,
anyway in
I
real
know, yes.
Yes,
person versus
Yeah.
the
I think
photos.
there's so
John,
many things. in
yes.
this.
All I can think about is the Tesla sign, signs everywhere, you know?
okay, so, calendars,
Ugh.
I am gone next week, Monday through Friday. I am here this week and I am here this weekend and the following weekend. I don't know what anybody's schedule is looking
I'm here
like,
this week.
It would be probably.
but I'm
better.
gone the 24th through the 28th.
How about for us, because we want to make the changes and we won't be here to do that until the 23rd, that next week when you're not here.
I can make
So how
most of
about
the
the
changes
following?
in the day, so.
So
Like the first
you're
week of
thinking
April?
the week of the 31st of
Yeah.
March?
That'd
Yeah,
be
that's
fine.
all right.
That'd be fine.
I'm not here, but I can jump on that
You can jump,
Zoom with John. We
okay.
can- We can FaceTime group.
I mean, the 31st of March
We're
is a
so
good
FaceTime
day
day.
because we don't
Right.
have a DRB or a planning commission meeting that night. It's our fifth
What?
Monday.
On the 31st, right?
Mm.
Yeah, we have nothing.
31st.
But I have a question. He said he can make the changes in a day. So what's wrong with this week?
We're
Because
not-
I gotta be
Oh,
back in
okay.
Maine
He's
tonight.
got some doctor appointments that we have to go to.
Understood.
and-
So the earliest that you would like us would be the 31st.
It could
Well,
be,
no, but I can do it anytime next week, really.
but you're
Except
not
I'm
here,
gone.
I
we're
know
not
that.
here.
And
Yeah,
So,
we have it
Yeah,
done.
so the
I'm,
week after that is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna work on it next week.
Yeah.
I'll probably take some
Yep.
down before I leave tonight.
I can do any time on Monday except for 2:45 to 3:45 when I pick my children.
I can also do any time on Monday. That day is.
On the
open-
31st?
Open wide for
So we
me.
have time.
Yeah.
okay, so we're going to
We can come back.
continue to a site visit on 3/31. What time are we going to do that site visit? John, you're what, 2 hours?
Yep, 2 hours.
Where are you gonna be, Charlie?
I'm gonna be babysitting in Boston.
But, so you're at the same time?
Yeah.
So what schedule will you be on?
I have no idea. Just pick a time and I will make it work.
4 o'clock, past 4,
So how's, 11 o'clock Eastern time?
11 o'clock. That's even
Is
better.
that
More
good?
sunshine.
11
Yes.
a.m. Eastern.
Where's John now?
I'm in Wyoming.
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
nice.
nice.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Okay, the 31st, 11 a.m., we will be there. As, just to repeat myself, we won't be asking you any questions. It is not a time for testimony, but anything you wish to show us, you can show us.
Okay.
But if it looks
Those are
like
the rules.
we're being rude, we're not. We just can't talk to you.
Yeah,
Can I
these are
indulge?
state
Because the
rules, not
public
Wilmington.
isn't-
Yeah, because
Can I
it's-
indulge you in a hot dog?
And don't get a hot dog.
That's
Can't
the
drive.
Chicago
I love
dog.
you to
You
taste
know
it.
you
This is
like
not
it.
a luncheon
Samples are
meeting.
out. I
You can
mean,
take it and go. You
You
can't
can
sit
take it
anyway.
and go.
We can't stand under the umbrella.
Frankie won't allow it.
Okay, so, continuation, beyond that, we do have, our next DRB regular meeting is April 7th. It is, we already have 3 applications for that, but I would like to suggest that we continue a little bit longer with the questions so that we have gotten through almost everything that we need to talk with Matt and Ronnie about. So if we want to do it on the 7th, then is everybody available on the 7th?
I'm
April
gonna-
7th?
Oh, just tag it on the end of that DRB meeting?
We'll
what you're
do it one
thinking?
way or the other, either first or last, yeah.
But tagging it.
So are you available on the 7th?
Yes.
Charlie,
Yeah,
what was that?
that was a yes.
That was a yes.
It's like when your body doesn't match your words.
Fighting.
What is
yes,
that
it was a
time,
yes.
Jessica, 5 o'clock?
It's always 5 o'clock, yeah.
5 o'clock.
So,
Are you-
so our site visit is the 31st and we are
Yeah.
continuing the hearing until April 7th.
Right, okay.
Now, I still would like to just finish as many questions as we can, so we can get as much testimony as possible. John, I don't know if you had some questions, but you are in a butter and we certainly are giving you time as well.
The only thing, I don't know if it's relevant. Can you hear me?
No.
You can't, you have to come up to the
Can you
mic.
just grab this?
Yep,
Portable? Oh,
Yeah.
You can take it to the
walk
chair
and
with you.
talk.
I gotta get my phone on here, so I don't know if it's relevant or not, but
You gotta talk into it.
it's section 5, okay, and it's,
Section 5 is historic.
yeah, I think it's 510. Let me just get this out.
510 says Village Design Review District Purpose.
Give me a moment, I'm old and tired. Okay.
Can you
yeah,
grab
510,
that? Can you
510.
grab that and thank yous? 'Cause
It's
with-
510. And it says the basics for a design review district. I'll move down here. The visual aspects of the design review district represents an important asset to the community by providing a source of pleasure for both residents and visitors and contributing to the economic development of the community. I don't know if it's relevant to their case or not, but I just, overall, there's some things that I don't think, not all the visitors and residents appreciate looking at, so. That's essentially my,
Okay, thank you.
okay,
Yep.
cool.
Is there anything else, John? Do you have any other questions
No,
or anything
no, I
about?
think you've grilled them enough. I think, I have had a hot dog there and it's good. I had the red bean, what is it?
The red snapper?
Yeah,
From
that's,
Maine?
yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I
It's
did.
John Boyd, representing the Baptist Church.
Okay.
Right, yeah,
Did you sign in?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sure then.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
Bonnie, you said you were not speaking, right? Okay, terrific. So what else do we need to cover, John Gannon? Are we?
I believe at this point, we've covered everything until we've had the site visit and come back here.
Okay,
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Yes, thank
everybody.
you.
Wait,
Thank you, Chris Mays. Good to see you.
I know that we're continuing the case. I know we're continuing the case, but can we go into a pre-deliberation about it? Can we
Have a
talk
good
about
night,
it?
We're
everyone.
going to deliberate.
Yeah.
We can, yes, but we're gonna deliberate on the other
No,
one.
I know.
anyhow.
Just
Yeah,
didn't know if we can talk about this one.
okay, so there's no one except John on Zoom.
Do you need it?
We need to turn off the,
Yep.
well, don't turn it off yet because I need
I
to
did
finish the
stop
meeting.
recording.
All right, do we have any?
I'm gonna finish the meeting.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes. As soon as I pack up all the stuff from this. Okay,
Stop
so,
recording or no?
I'm sorry?
Stop recording or no?
Not yet.
Not
until she
yet.
Finishes.
So, we are not closing this hearing, we are continuing this hearing, and the continuation date will be April 7th. And we will have a site visit on March 31st. I'm sorry?
We heard the red snapper.
And we
okay.
have the red snapper.
So,
Thank you.
so this hearing is continued. Thank you. I have no new or old business unless anybody else does.
I just have a question. Who can speak at these? Only interested parties?
Who, what?
Can the public can the public speak or only interested parties?
Who can be
DRB
heard?
hearing? Who can be
It's
heard?
specifically interested parties, groups of 10, and then the public can be heard, but I'm pretty
We
sure
were
that.
looking at it and the ordinance says groups of 10, but I think it's groups of 20 by the new law that just got
Yeah.
passed.
Yes, that's changed, right? But
Okay.
we also have opened it to neighborhoods.
Well,
It says a person owning title to property, a municipality or solid waste district empowered
have
to
you opened
condemn.
it to just attenders or do they have to be the butters?
No, we opened it a few years ago to neighborhood.
Yeah, it says a person owning or occupying property in the immediate neighborhood.
Yes, okay.
Thank you, Jessica.
I'm not in the immediate neighborhood, so I took it that meant I couldn't comment, am I correct?
We're not terribly formal.
So
That's what I was.
it states anyone who can demonstrate a physical or environmental impact on their interest.
But we're not talking about it anymore now because that hearing has been continued.
Yes, I understand that. But I
Okay,
was just trying to clarify if at the next hearing,
yes,
I should be able to speak or not.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so no new or old business. Motion to close the meeting, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. All in favor? I would second.
I second.
All in favor? Cheryl, I.
Charlie, aye.
John, I.
I said Crystal I.
Thank you. Now we can stop recording. And